So let's dive into the one thing that can completely scramble a programmer's career overnight. And it doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a 20-year vet. I'm talking about the corporate merger. And this isn't just about getting a new logo on your t-shirt. No, this is a high-stakes game. This is about survival. And look, this isn't some abstract theory. This is real life. Picture it. On Monday, you're cruising through a codebase you know like the back of your hand. By Tuesday, boom, you work for a totally new company. You're facing a mountain of different rules, unfamiliar tools, and let's be honest, completely unknown expectations. So what's the first move? Do you hit the panic button, dust off the old resume, or is there another way to play this? And yeah, calling it a technical earthquake is not an exaggeration at all. I mean, think about it. We're talking about a potential 100% requalification of your skills. That programming language you spent years mastering, poof, gone. Your favorite cloud services and IDEs, replaced. Heck, even the operating system could get thrown out. Everything you've built your expertise on can feel like it's just crumbling right under your feet. But here's the thing. What if the key to surviving this earthquake isn't about knowing yet another framework, but about adopting a specific way of thinking? This is where we get into what might be the most powerful tool you have, what we're calling the programmer's mindset. This right here, this is your ultimate survival tool. See, the programmer's mind has absolutely nothing to do with being the world's greatest Java or C# developer. Nope. It's about a deep, fundamental understanding of the universal principles, the bedrock ideas that hold up all programming. It's a kind of mental agility that lets you look at a new language not as this terrifying obstacle, but just as another screwdriver in your toolbox. And that mindset, that is how you turn a career-ending crisis into just another interesting problem to solve. So it really boils down to this difference. On one side, you've got the rigid developer. Now, they might have a decade of experience, but that experience becomes a cage, right? It locks them into one stack, one way of thinking. For them, change is the enemy. But on the other side, you've got the agile programmer. They see change as an opportunity because they know the fundamental patterns, variables, loops, data structures, they're the same everywhere. It's kind of funny, but this is why a total novice can sometimes adapt faster than a seasoned pro. They don't have to unlearn anything. They're like a little kid just effortlessly picking up a second language. Okay, so to put this mindset to work, you gotta understand the battlefield. So let's take a look at the high-level business chaos that a merger creates and translate what it actually means for you, the person sitting at the keyboard, writing the code. Okay, this is where that corporate speak translates directly into your daily grind. You see cultural change on the left? For you, the programmer, that means, bam, new coding standards, a totally different pull request workflow, and a whole new team dynamic. And technology integration? Well, that's the main event, isn't it? It's mashing two completely different tech stacks together and hoping for the best. And senior management issues? That just means a new boss could show up tomorrow and kill that project you've poured your heart into. Knowing this business context is your first step to conquering the technical side. All right, time to get our hands dirty and talk tech. When two companies become one, you're basically facing two giant mountains, fusing all the code and unifying all the data. This is where the real engineering adventure begins. First up, let's talk about the code. The good news is you don't always have to just throw away years of solid, battle-tested work. The secret sauce is a concept called interoperability. It's the technical magic that lets two totally separate universes, like Java's world and the .NET world, actually talk to each other. I mean, why on earth would you rewrite a perfectly good algorithm from scratch if you can just build a bridge to it? So how does this bridge building actually work? Well, at a high level, it's kind of like a three-step dance. First, you use a special framework, something like JNI 4net, to connect the two runtimes. Think of it like opening up a diplomatic channel. Second, you reference the libraries you need, the .jar files and the .dll files, so each side can see and understand the other's code. And finally, step 3, the magic happens. You can directly call C# code from your Java file, or the other way around, as if they were old friends from the start. And boom, this right here is the payoff. What you're looking at is the impossible made real. That's C# code, which is native to the .NET world, running inside a Java application to pull system information. We are literally crossing the streams here, executing code from one ecosystem inside another. This is how you leverage the best of both worlds and save just a staggering amount of time and effort. But, as challenging as fusing code is, there's an even bigger monster waiting in the wings. This quote says it all, really. The data, All those customer records, sales histories, product logs, that's the real treasure. And getting it all to work together is a far more permanent and, frankly, much more difficult problem to solve. So what's the solution to this data explosion? Well, the classic answer is the data warehouse. The best way to think about it? It's like a central, pristine library for every single piece of information the company owns. It takes in data from dozens of messy, incompatible sources, databases, spreadsheets, you name it, and it organizes it all into one clean, unified system that can actually give you meaningful business intelligence. So how do you get all that messy data into this beautiful, pristine library? It's a three-letter process that is the engine of modern data science, ETL. First, you extract the raw data from everywhere. Then comes the most crucial step. You transform it. This is where you clean it, you standardize it, you apply business rules. And finally, you load that clean, valuable data into the warehouse, where it's all ready to start answering the big, important questions. Okay, we've talked about the business battlefield and the technical weapons you can use. But now, let's bring the focus back to the most critical factor in this entire equation, you. How do you start building this mental resilience before the earthquake ever hits? Here's your training plan, a concrete list of things you can do. If you're a Java dev, spend a weekend just learning the basics of C#. You don't need to master it, just get a feel for it. Grab an Arduino and tinker with some hardware in a different flavor of C++. Get your hands dirty with the fundamentals of the web, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, because that stuff is universal. And maybe most importantly, jump into technical debates and brainstorming sessions. It's not about winning the argument, it's about stretching your mind. And this is the absolute key. The goal isn't to finish that side project. That Arduino might just end up gathering dust, and you know what? That's fine. It doesn't matter. The real win, the lasting value, comes from the process. It comes from forcing your brain to form new pathways. That's what forges the adaptability we've been talking about. That's the programmer's mind. So we've journeyed through the business chaos. We've gone into the technical weeds, and we've laid out a personal game plan. What is the one single idea that you should carry with you after all this? It's this. Just let that sink in for a second. In a career that is defined by constant change, your true value isn't the specific language you know today. It's your fundamental ability to solve problems with any language, with any tool, tomorrow. Frameworks get old, languages fade away, but elegant problem solving, that skill is timeless. That's what makes you indispensable. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. We rely on our IDEs, our integrated development environments, every single day, right? They're powerful, they're essential tools. But in the face of these tectonic shifts in our industry, maybe, just maybe, the most powerful, the most adaptable, and the most future-proof IDE you will ever use is the one right between your ears.